Good afternoon, hoops and hockey fans. Big Al here on this Monday, 2023, and we are about 22 minutes or so until the start of spring. Thank God for that. Goodbye, winter, and good riddance. But we ain't talking about the weather. We're talking about the current NBA and NHL standings and the playoff picture through March 19th, 2023. So I'm on my Sports Alerts app to load up. All right, we're up and running. And we're going to jump right into the NBA standings and playoff picture through March 19th, starting off with the Eastern Conference. And we have we have a tie for the lead now atop the Atlantic Division with both the Philadelphia 76ers, who are blazing hot right now, and the Boston Celtics. Philadelphia has a 48-22 record, winning percentage of .686, 9-1 in their last 10 games, including 8 straight wins. Boston, meanwhile, is 49-23, winning percentage is .681, 5-5 in their last 10 games, including a loss in their most recent game. Jumping into third place are the New York Knicks, 42-30, winning percentage of .583. They are 7 games behind both the Sixers and Celtics, 7-3 record in their last 10 games, including 3 straight wins. Moving ahead of their crosstown rivals, the Brooklyn Nets, at 39-32, winning percentage of .549. They trail both Philly and Boston by 9.5 games. They are 5-5 in their last 10, including 3 straight losses. And sitting in last place, the Toronto Raptors, 35-37, winning percentage of .486. They are 14 games behind both Philadelphia and Boston, 5-5 in their last 10 games, including a loss in their most recent game. And Boston has already clinched a playoff spot. I wanted to mention that. Meanwhile, in the Central Division, the Milwaukee Bucks have already clinched a playoff spot as well, with the best record in the Eastern Conference at 51-20. That's a .718 winning percentage. The Bucks are 7-3 in their last 10, including a victory in their last game. In second place are the Cleveland Cavaliers, 45-28, winning percentage of .616. They trail the Bucks by 7. They're 7-3 in their last 10, including a win in their last game. Third place are the Chicago Bulls, 33-37, .471 winning percentage, 17.5 games behind Milwaukee, so they have no chance at the division at this point. 6-4 in their last 10 games, including back-to-back wins. Fourth place are the Indiana Pacers, 32-39, .451 winning percentage. They are 19 games out of first place, 6-4 in their last 10, including a loss in their last game. And sitting in last place and eliminated from the playoffs are the Detroit Pistons, 16-56, .222 winning percentage, 35.5 games out of first behind Milwaukee, an abysmal 1-9 in their last 10 games, including 3 straight losses. Over in the Southeast Division, the Miami Heat lead the way at 39-34. .534 winning percentage, 6-4 record in their last 10 games, including a dub in their last win, or a dub in their last game. Second place are the Atlanta Hawks, still hanging in there, 35-36, .493 winning percentage, 3 games behind the Heat, 4-6 in their last 10, including a loss in their last game. In third, you've got the Washington Wizards, 32-39, .451 winning percentage, 6 games back of Miami, 3-7 in their last 10 games, including back-to-back losses. Fourth place are the Orlando Magic, 29-43, 403 winning percentage, 9.5 or rather 9.5 games out behind the Heat for first in the Southeast, 3-7 in their last 10, including a loss in their last game. And in last place and officially out of the playoffs, the Charlotte Hornets, 22-50 with a 306 winning percentage. They trail the Heat by 16.5 games, 3-7 over their last 10, including 4 straight losses. On to the Western Conference, where the Memphis Grizzlies have a pretty big lead in the Southwest Division at 43-27. Winning percentage is .614. They are 6-4 in their last 10 games, including back-to-back wins. In second place and trying to keep up with the Grizzlies are the Dallas Mavericks. 36-35, winning percentage is .507. They are 7.5 games behind Memphis, 4-6 in their last 10, including back-to-back wins. In third place are the New Orleans Pelicans, 34-37, 479 winning percentage. They are 9.5 games behind the Grizzlies, 4-6 in their last 10 ball games, including a win in their most recent game. Fourth place and eliminated from the playoffs, the San Antonio Spurs, 19-52, 268 winning percentage. They are 24.5 games behind the Grizz, 5-5 in their last 10 games, including a victory in their most recent game. And in last place and also eliminated from the playoffs are the Houston Rockets, 18-53, 254 winning percentage, 25.5 games behind Memphis. They are also 5-5 across their last 10 games, including a loss in their most recent game. All right, the Northwest Division was never in doubt, as the Denver Nuggets have clinched the division title at 48-24, 667 winning percentage, only 5-5 over their last 10 games, including a victory in their most recent game. In second place are the Oklahoma City Thunder, 35-36, winning percentage is .493. They are 12.5 games behind Denver, 7-3 over their last 10, including a win in their most recent game. Then you have a virtual tie for third place with the Minnesota Timberwolves at 35-37 and a .486 winning percentage, 4-6 record in their last 10, including 3 straight losses. And the Utah Jazz at 34-36, also a .486 win percentage, 5-5 in their last 10, including a victory in their most recent game. Both teams are 13 behind the Denver Nuggets. And falling back into last place and probably staying there for the rest of the year are the Portland Trailblazers. 31-40, win percentage is .437. They are a terrible 2-8 over their last 10, including 6 straight losses. So they presently have the longest active losing streak in the NBA. Now to the Pacific Division, where the Sacramento Kings continue to grow their lead in this division at 43-27. Winning percentage is .614. 8-2 in their last 10, including 3 straight wins. The Phoenix Suns remain in second place, but they're getting some company. 38-33, 535 winning percentage. They are now 5.5 games behind the Kings. 5-5 record in their last 10, including a loss in their most recent game. The Los Angeles Clippers are third, 38 and 34, 528 winning percentage. They trail Sacramento by 6 games, 5 and 5 over their last 10, including a victory in their most recent game. Fourth place are the defending NBA champions, the Golden State Warriors, 36 and 36. That's a 500 winning percentage. They are 8 games behind the Kings, 4 and 6 over their last 10, including 3 straight losses. And rounding out the Pacific Division are the Los Angeles Lakers, 35 and 37, 486 winning percentage. They are 9 games behind Sacramento, 6 and 4 over their last 10, including a win in their most recent game. Top 6 teams in each conference make the playoffs. 7 through 10 in each conference make the play-in tournaments. All right, looking at the Eastern Conference playoff race, the Milwaukee Bucks have the number 1 seed in the conference at 51 and 20, 2.5 games clear of the East, or not the Eastern Division, but rather the Atlantic Division co-leaders, the Philadelphia 76ers and the Boston Celtics. Based on winning percentage, Philadelphia is presently the number 2 team in the East at 48 and 22 and riding that 8-game winning streak. They have not clinched a playoff spot yet. The Boston Celtics have. They're at 49 and 23, and they're sitting in the number 3 spot. The Cleveland Cavaliers are the present 4 seed at 45 and 28. Then it's the New York Knicks at number 5, 42 and 30. Number 6 is the Brooklyn Nets at 39 and 32. Seven through 10 in the East again would make the play-in tournament, with the Miami Heat at 39 and 34, the present Southeast Division leaders. They would be the number 7 seed as of right now. The Atlanta Hawks at 35 and 36 would sit in the 8th spot. The Toronto Raptors would be the 9 seed as of right now at 35 and 37. And the Chicago Bulls at 33 and 37 would sit in that 10th and final spot in the play-in tournament, which would rather be the 4th and final spot in the play-in tournament. On the outside looking in, you've got the Indiana Pacers and Washington Wizards, both 32 and 39, 1.5 games behind Chicago for that number 10 spot. And both teams have 11 games left. The only other team in the Eastern Conference race are the Orlando Magic at 29 and 43. They are a full 5 games behind Chicago. Both Charlotte and Detroit are eliminated. The Hornets are 22 and 50 and sit 12 games out, while Detroit sits with an NBA worst 16 and 56 record, and they sit 18 games out. As far as the Western Conference, the Denver Nuggets, the only Western Conference team to clinch a playoff spot, and their division on top of that, have the number 1 seed at 48 and 24. Then it's the Sacramento Kings and Memphis Grizzlies, both at 43 and 27, and based on head-to-head tiebreakers, Sacramento would sit in the number 2 spot, Memphis at number 3. The Phoenix Suns are hanging on to that number 4 spot at 38 and 33. Right below them are the Los Angeles Clippers at 38 and 34 in the number 5 spot, and the Dallas Mavericks at 36 and 35, currently the number 6 team in the West. The 4 teams that would make the play-in tournament are as follows. The Golden State Warriors in the number 7 spot at 36-36. The Oklahoma City Thunder would be in as the number 8 team in the West, at 35-36. And then you have a virtual 3-way tie for the last 2 spots in the play-in tournament, with both the Minnesota Timberwolves and LA Lakers at 35-37, and the Utah Jazz at 34-36. And based on tiebreakers, Minnesota would be the 9 seed, LA would get in as the 10th and final team, and Utah would be on the outside looking in. Not too far out themselves would be the New Orleans Pelicans at 34-37, just a half game back. And the Portland Trailblazers, despite their current cold snap, they are just 3.5 games out of a playoff spot, while both the Spurs and Rockets are both eliminated. Portland is 31-40. I didn't mention that. San Antonio is 19-52 and 15.5 games out. Houston is 18-53 and 16.5 games out. So that's the current standings and the playoff race in the NBA through March 19th. Now let's jump over to the NHL. Beginning in the Eastern Conference as always. The Boston Bruins, thus far the only team to clinch a playoff spot in the league at this point. 69 games played. They have a record of 53-11-5 for 111 points, which leads the NHL, and 51 wins in regulation or overtime, which also leads the NHL. And they're not too far off from winning their division either, because the second place Toronto Maple Leafs have a lot of ground to cover to catch Boston, and not too many games left. 69 games played, 42-18-9 for 93 points, and 41 wins in regulation or overtime. Third place are the Tampa Bay Lightning, 71 games played, 42-23-6, 90 points, 39 victories in regulation or overtime. In fourth place are the Florida Panthers, 69 games played, 35-27-7 for 77 points, 33 wins in regulation or overtime. Fifth place are the Buffalo Sabres, 69 games played, 33-30-6 for 72 points, 32 wins in regulation or overtime. In sixth place are the Ottawa Senators, 69 games played, 33-31-5 for 71 points, and 31 wins in regulation or overtime. Seventh place are the Detroit Red Wings, 68 games played, 30-29-9 for 69 points, 28 wins in regulation or overtime. And last place in the Atlantic are the Montreal Canadiens, 70 games played, 27-37-6 for 60 points, and 23 wins in regulation or overtime. Meanwhile, we got a pretty fun race in the Metropolitan Division for the top spot, which is currently occupied by the Carolina Hurricanes. 68 games played, 45-15-8 for 98 points, and 41 wins in regulation or overtime. Not too far behind them are the New Jersey Devils. 70 games played, 45-18-7, 97 points, 43 wins in regulation or overtime. Also, with a dog in this division fight are the New York Rangers. 70 games played, 41-19-10, 92 points, 37 wins in regulation or overtime. The New York Islanders are in fourth place, 71 games played, 36, 27, and 8 for 80 points, and 36 wins in regulation or overtime. In fifth place are the Pittsburgh Penguins, 69 games played, 34, 25, and 10 record for 78 points, and 33 wins in regulation or overtime. Sixth place are the Washington Capitals, 71 games played, 33, 31, and 7 for 73 points, 31 wins in regulation or overtime. Seventh place are the Philadelphia Flyers, 69 games played, 25, 32, and 12 for 62 points, and 24 wins in regulation or overtime. Last place in the Metropolitan Division and officially eliminated from the playoffs are the Columbus Blue Jackets. 69 games played, 21, 41, and 7, 49 points, and only 20 wins in regulation or overtime. Jumping over to the Western Conference, the Dallas Stars are in a spirited battle atop the Central Division. 70 games played, 38, 19, and 13, 89 points, 35 wins in regulation or overtime. A very close second are the Minnesota Wild, 70 games played, 40, 22, and 8, 88 points, 33 wins in regulation or overtime. Third place are the Colorado Avalanche, the defending Stanley Cup champions. 68 games played, 40, 22, and 6, 86 points, 35 wins in regulation or overtime. Down in fourth place are the Winnipeg Jets, 71 games played, 39, 29, and 3, 81 points, 38 wins in regulation or overtime. Fifth place are the Nashville Predators, 68 games played, 34, 26, and 8, 76 points, 30 wins in regulation or overtime. In sixth place are the St. Louis Blues, 69 games played, 31, 33, and 5 for 67 points and 28 wins in regulation or overtime. In seventh place and playing a lot better recently are the Arizona Coyotes. 70 games played, 27, 32, and 11 for 65 points and 24 wins in regulation or overtime. Last place in the Central Division and officially eliminated from the playoffs are the Chicago Blackhawks. 69 games played, record is 24, 39, and 6, 54 points, 22 wins in regulation or overtime. Over in the Pacific Division, where you have a spirited battle for the top spot here as well. The Pacific is presently led by the Vegas Golden Knights. 70 games played, 43, 21, and 6, 92 points, 39 wins in regulation or overtime. In second place, a very close second place, are the Los Angeles Kings. 70 games played, 40, 20, and 10 for 90 points. Nice round numbers. And 34 wins in regulation or overtime. The Edmonton Oilers are in third place. 70 games played, 39, 23, and 8 for 86 points. 39 wins in regulation or overtime. In fourth place are the Seattle Kraken. 69 games played, 38, 24, and 7, 83 points, 38 wins in regulation or overtime. The Calgary Flames are in fifth place, 70 games played, 31, 24, and 15, 77 points, 29 wins in regulation or overtime. Followed by the sixth place Vancouver Canucks. 69 games played, 31, 33, and 5 for 67 points, 26 wins in regulation or overtime. Sitting 7th in this division and officially eliminated from playoff contention, the Anaheim Ducks. 70 games played, 23, 37, and 10, 56 points, 20 wins in regulation or overtime. And sitting in last place and also eliminated from playoff contention are the San Jose Sharks. 70 games played, 19, 37, and 14, 52 points, 18 wins in regulation or overtime. All right. As far as the playoff picture in the NHL through March 19th, we know the Boston Bruins are in with 111 points. Toronto has 93 and Tampa Bay has 90. They would be your top three in the Atlantic Division. Carolina has 98 points, New Jersey 97, and the New York Rangers 92. They would be your top three in the Metro Division. Dallas with 89 points, Minnesota with 88, and Colorado with 86 would be your top three in the Central, while Vegas with 92, Los Angeles with 90, and Edmonton with 86 would be your top three in the Pacific. All right. The two wild card spots in the Eastern Conference would go to the New York Rangers, or rather the New York Islanders, and the Pittsburgh Penguins. New York would have the top wild card spot with 80 points. Pittsburgh would have the number 2 wild card with 78 points. Florida would only be 1 point out, although they have one more win than the Penguins. Washington is 5 points out. Buffalo 6 points out. Ottawa is 7 points out. Detroit 9 points out. Philadelphia is 16 points out. Montreal 18 points out. And Columbus already eliminated from the playoffs. They are 29 points out. The two wild card spots in the Western Conference would go to Seattle and Winnipeg. Seattle would be the top wild card team in the West with 83 points, while Winnipeg would be the number 2 wild card at 81 points. Calgary is 4 points out. Nashville is 5 points out, and then it dramatically drops off from there. As St. Louis and Vancouver both sit 14 points out. Arizona is 16 points out, and they are all long shots to make the playoffs. While Anaheim, Chicago, and San Jose are all eliminated. The Ducks are 25 points out of a playoff spot. The Blackhawks are 27 points out, and the Sharks are 29 points out. And there it is. The updated standings and playoff races in both the NBA and NHL through March 19th. And we will be back next Monday with another look at the standings and the playoff races. And before we go, let's take a look at the schedules in both leagues of all the games taking place tonight. Starting off with the Bulls at the 76ers, and the Pacers and Hornets, both games tip at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. 30 minutes later at Madison Square Garden, it's the Knicks hosting the Timberwolves. That's at 7:30 Eastern. The defending NBA champion Warriors take a trip down to the Space City to face the Rockets at 7 o'clock local time, 8 p.m. Eastern. At that same time, the Mavericks face off with the Memphis Grizzlies, also 8 o'clock Eastern. The late game on the NBA schedule is at 9 o'clock Eastern with the Kings visiting the Jazz. On the NHL side of the ledger, you have 2 games starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The Senators visit the Penguins. The Panthers visit the Red Wings. At 9 p.m. Eastern, it's the Blackhawks facing off with the Avalanche. The Sharks take on the Oilers at 9:30 Eastern Time. And the LA Kings will play host to the Calgary Flames at 10:30 Eastern Time. All right, that is it for today as we took a look at the NBA and NHL standings and postseason races in both leagues. Again, we do these videos every Monday, so be on the watch for all of that. Plus, baseball season is coming up. We're just 10 days out from opening day, and we'll be doing our weekly standings check across MLB beginning on April 9th. So watch out for that as well. In the meantime, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell and get notified every time I go live. Big Al signing off. Thanks for watching. And as I said last week, the playoffs are coming. Get ready. Peace out.